Early redemption charges, how can you benefit from these? What are the downsides? What are the positives? How can you actually utilize early redemption charges to your benefit in your property investing career? Let's discuss all this right now. So what is early redemption charges? Well, typically if you're in a product with a lender where you're fixed in there, what they'll do is they'll actually put in a tie-in scenario where you have to pay an early redemption charge if you come out of that mortgage sooner. So a bit of a penalty really. When it comes to early redemption charges, there are points when you can really decide to actually pay the early redemption charge. Now, why would you want to pay an early redemption charge? Well, you've bought property well, you've learned how to do it, you've added value to that property, so the value of that property has increased, and now you've got another project on the go. Just imagine. And you need the funding for that project. However, that funding is actually sitting in the equity of that property that you've got with that fixed rate. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna let a really good deal pass you by just because you think you haven't got the funds? Or are you gonna take that money from that pot that you've got there that's sitting in that property? However, your challenge is it's fixed. Well, early redemption charges will help you. So you can decide to actually think of that, like us, as a cost of doing business. Let's think of a work example. So let's say you have a new project that you want to jump into, and in this project, you're going to add a lot of value to that property and you got it at a good discount. Now, that property, let's say, is going to make you a significant amount of money. Let's say it's going to make you a minimum of £50,000. So it's making you £50,000 over here, but over here, you have to pay an early redemption charge of 2%. And that 2% on the property over here, where you borrowed £200,000, is going to be at 2%, is going to be, of course, when you work that number out, 2% of 200,000 is £4,000. So you have that choice, haven't you? So the decision that we make, and you can decide to make, is think of that, like what I say, as a cost for the opportunity. So you pay £4,000, but over here, you're going to gain £50,000. So is that a good return on investment? And if you're like me, you understand that that is a really good investment. So you jump in and you pay those costs because it makes sense. So how can you use this to your advantage? Let's discuss this right now. I hope you're enjoying these insights. Now, I'd love to hear your comments as well. You can click on that bell icon, get the latest notifications. Even I've worked out where that one is. And you can also subscribe to the channel. I'm doing a number of videos like this, informative, to help you to move forward in your property journey. Now, what you'll notice is that in a 2-year fixed and a 5-year fixed and a 7-year and a 10-year fixed, there are different points in time when those early redemption charges actually kick in to different levels, different percentages. Now, let's say you're in a tie-in. When do you decide to minimize that early redemption charge? What is the optimum point where you have the reduced costs? Now, in a 2-year fix, what you will find is that the early redemption charge typically tends to drop after the first year. So you might have, for example, a 4% charge in year 1, but in year 2, that charge now reduces to 2%. So if you're going to be getting out of that product, that early redemption charge, then of course the best time is to actually do that in year 2, the beginning of year 2. In a 5-year product, what you'll find is that you'll be finding that typically starts to happen, in my experience, at the end of year 3. So year 4 in a 5-year fix tends to be the most optimum time. Remember, you can check this right at the beginning with your mortgage brokers. You can check this with the products and actually look at your offers to really understand what you're actually getting into and what is going to be that specific point that works for you. Now, when we come to a 7-year fix and 10-year fixes, what you will find is, very strangely, that typically the early redemption charge in many cases, and you want to look for these things, that it does not matter if you're in year 4, 5, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, 10, because the early redemption charge in many lending cases, and like what I say, look for this, they will actually start to stabilize after year 3. So what I'm saying specifically is, let's say you have a 7-year fixed rate mortgage, you could decide to actually exit that from year 3 with exactly the same early redemption charge as you would have in year 4 or 5 or 7 or year 7 even. Hope I'm making sense there. So you have that opportunity and that flexibility to understand it will only cost you the same to actually exit from that.